It's the power. It's the money. He doesn't give a fuck about jiu-jitsu. He's just leveraging it to the next thing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Bulletproof for BJJ podcast. Are you ready for the jiu-jitsu battle promotion of our lifetime? Craig Jones versus the ADCC. It's on, people. It is so on. And I called it a little while back. It's an intense thing because Craig Jones is setting up his own BDCC, or the Craig Jones Invitational. And he's making it pretty public, and he's not afraid to challenge Jiu-Jitsu and the organization in which he made his name.
Anti-establishment.
Yeah, rebels from the underground.
For maybe the people who are like pretty fresh to jiu-jitsu and like, who the fuck are these guys? Can we just give a brief synopsis on this scenario? So who's Craig Jones?
So Craig, why you throws to
Craig
me?
Jones is JT's favorite grappler, fellow countryman.
Your mum's favorite grappler. No, I think Craig has always been a phenomenal competitor. He won worlds at purple belt. He might have podiumed at brown. He'd been disqualified a few times, unfortunately, but had a standout performance at the ADCC when he beat Leandro Lowe. He choked him. He heel hooked him, actually. Lowe didn't tap, busted his knee, got his back, choked him, and then did somewhat of a flying triangle against Murilo Santana.
That was huge.
Yeah, it was amazing.
So, he's one of Australia's best grapplers, and
don't miss the fact that he got silver. The next ADCC got silver. He got he's got silver twice now. So he's that close to being the best grappler in the world, right?
Yeah, and he's had this parallel journey with Gordon Ryan for in those earlier days, where he almost tapped Gordon at EBI.
Yeah, in the EBI overtime, it's the closest anyone had come to submitting Gordon, and even Gordon was a bit shook off the back of that.
But so he's like easily one of the biggest celebrities in jiu-jitsu.
He's probably the number one celebrity in jiu-jitsu right now.
Yeah,
he's like, in terms of non-jiu-jitsu people. Okay. So here's a phenomenon. My mum told me, have you heard of this Craig Jones?
I bet that hurt.
Bro, of course it hurt. My mum watches the leftist ABC, and he was on ABC News because he went over there to fight the Russians.
Oh, he went to the Ukraine.
He went to the Ukraine, and so the ABC talked about it. And credit to him, that was a really good thing on his behalf, Good PR.
So then ADCC is the most prestigious grappling event we know. It's a no-gi event. It's on every 2 years. It's often referred to as the Olympics of grappling. And it's the best grapplers from all over the world. And then they're brought together and they have this, male-female division, weight division.
It's a pretty intense selection process. This is what people don't get. The selections have now become as hotly contested as anything.
Yeah.
To even get there. So that everybody who's there is either a world champion or one of the best grapplers in the world. So there's no gimme matches, right?
No.
And Jiu-Jitsu, who is the son, unfortunately I don't know his father's name. I'll have to Google it.
He's the organizer?
He's the organizer, owner, event runner. And really, Craig made his name in the ADCC. It's almost like Khabib making his name in the UFC and then retiring, but then setting up his own fight organization, even though it's, Eagle FC in the middle of nowhere. Imagine if he went, I'm going to set up the PFL and it's going to be right here in America.
Yeah.
And I'm challenging you, Dana White.
Same kind of awkwardness.
Yeah, but Craig is going at the ADCC. He's trying to run this tournament in August.
So he's saying that he's going to put it on the same weekend. I think, right?
That's what he wants to do. He wants to totally, and he's very openly said this, poach the talent from the ADCC. But here's where he does something masterful, which is, to Craig's credit, the king of marketing. Do you find you get thirsty at training? I do. I do all the time. I'm a sweaty human and I need to hydrate. Now, the biggest problem is by the time you're thirsty, it's a little bit late. You need to hydrate. And that's why we got Sodi. Sodi is sponsoring the show. We've got all the colors of the rainbow. Great flavors here. We've got salty citrus, salty pineapple, salty berry, and my favorite, salty grapefruit. And they will be releasing 2 new mystery flavors soon. So Why do we need this? It's going to prevent our muscle cramps. It's going to help our energy delivery. And it's also going to mean you're less tired, which is an advantage when you're training. If you want to maximize your jiu-jitsu and feel good when you're rolling, you need to get SOTI. And when you purchase, enter the code Bulletproof20 at checkout for 20% off. Oh, yeah. To Craig's credit, the king of marketing, he's going to pay them. So Craig's all about the money, and this is his main beef. Craig makes more money off his celebrity and his DVD download, like, his downloadable instructionals and stuff like this, celebrity endorsements. He makes like 10 times in a month or more, 30 times in a month, what the ADCC would pay him to potentially damage his reputation, right? If he goes in there and loses first round, he gets no money. Only if he beats 3, 4, 5 guys does he get 10 Gs. He's like, why would I do that?
So it's 10 Gs to win?
To win. Otherwise, you get nothing.
Yeah, right. They pay for your trip, don't they? They pay for your accommodation and I think your flights.
Potentially, I don't know if that's the case.
Which was always like, holy shit, they pay for your flights. And man, that's great, right? Like in the world of jiu-jitsu at that time, like when that came about, you're like, man, that is prestigious. But now Craig's like, we're going to pay people 10 grand to show up.
10,001.
10,001. And then $1 million if they win.
Which is obscene.
Yeah. Which is stupid dollars.
Which I love because it kind of proves me right. No, I don't. It's awesome. It moves the game forward. So the proposition
hasn't overtaken the UFC yet.
$1 million for one fight?
It hasn't overtaken
the UFC
yet.
No, but hear me.
I know what you're going to say.
How many UFC fighters get $1 million?
Yeah, not all of them.
Almost none.
Yeah.
I will say almost none. So just let's put it in context. Craig is offering over 80 kilos, under 80 kilos, so no absolute. Big boys and medium boys, basically. No female categories because he's a total chauvinist. He's only got so much money. But yeah, that's pretty big.
Probably cop a bit of heat for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
No female division, but whatever.
He doesn't care.
He's not averse to copping a bit of heat. Yeah.
10K to show. There is so many grapplers out there who would be thinking about it. Because there is no jiu-jitsu competition where you can win $1 million. But here comes the big challenge. Prestige versus money. The ADCC has built its reputation over 20, 30 years, right? It is coveted. It is one of those things where if you win it, you're going to be making money on seminars for years to come. It really solidifies your reputation as a champion.
Yeah, it elevates your status.
Your status in the game. You can get super fights. You can do all this stuff. So even though you may not make a whole bunch of money off the tournament, it will make you money in your career. But Craig is like, nah, the game's changed. I got the money and I'll pay you. And it seems kind of petty, but he's doing this directly to with the ADCC.
Yeah. It's even on that point, I think the ADCC is actually probably, so it's in a stronger position than it's ever been in terms of the amount of people that watch the event and go to it. Like we went there 2 years ago.
Yeah.
The value of the event has increased year on year,
Massively.
right? Like it's a sick show. But I reckon that the actual value of winning the ADCC is not as valuable as it once was. Because in the past, it was the premier no-gi grappling event. Whereas now we've got a bunch of great grappling events out there. And you do have amazing grapplers who maybe fight on Who's Number One or fight on, combat jiu-jitsu or whatever, that don't get into ADCC.
Sure.
And you can be elevated, not to the same status, but you can be elevated by winning those other titles.
Yes.
So definitely. I think it's just, it doesn't have the monopoly anymore.
Maybe. No, you're right in saying there are many more ways for grapplers to get shine. No-gi grapplers. And no-gi grappling is by far like the most popular in terms of growing. It's growing the fastest, people wanting to know no-gi, right? Here's the thing. Let's rewind a little bit. Let's go a little bit more like origin story to this. Like Craig used to be darling boy of flow grappling. And then...
Did he?
Yeah. Like he kind of coming up like, UFC Fight Pass. Like before that, like Flow would build up certain people, but Flow decided, no, Gordon Ryan is our champion.
Yeah,
Then Craig was like, well, Gordon Ryan, flow grappling and was very open about that. He went from being very cool with flow grappling to being very uncool, right? This is the path, you know, and fair enough. I'm not saying this in a particularly judgment way. I'm just saying in a pattern recognition kind of way. Even if you look at Craig's rise through the B team, through DDS, he kind of surreptitiously got into DDS, made himself a part of the team, more or less. And then at a critical point when the team was kind of vulnerable and falling apart because of it couldn't sustain all of the egos, Craig said to the boys, John, them. We'll go and make our tax-reduced money in Texas. Come with me, boys. And that's what happened. They made B team. So it didn't suit him anymore. He moved on. Now we're talking about the ADCC. Craig built a reputation, was good friends with Mo, got very favorable treatment. B team got good treatment, elevated his profile. You know, the next coolest person stopped suiting him. Didn't make him the money he wanted, didn't get the fame he wanted, wasn't getting the preferential treatment he wanted. See you freaking later. I'll make my own thing. And this is always the way. He kind of moves himself up and up. And this is where potentially, if you look at how to make money in BJJ, it's being one of those large event organizers. Like, who would you want to be? Donald Cerrone or Dana White? Dana White's still making $200 million a year, you know, not Donald Cerrone. Like, you don't want to be
Donald
the fighter.
Cerrone's just driving buggies around his ranch.
Well, he's riding,
shooting animals and shit.
He's riding.
Sick. Dana's
Awesome.
just on the clock, son. We're working over here.
No, but
Kids, I don't know them.
True.
They're there somewhere.
But I got abs.
Yeah.
No. The reason why I say this is if you look at the path to money, that's what I'm saying.
Like, It's like that classic thing to success where you just shit on everyone else to get to the,
to the next thing, right? And so
you've mastered the art of leverage, which is really what jiu-jitsu is all about.
Oh,
boosh.
Yes. Whoa. That was actually genius. My goodness. I'm speechless. It doesn't happen often.
Yeah, it's never happened.
That was great. You rocked me with that one. I was like, bam, bam. I just had to bask in that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want the best gear for BJJ, you need to go to pariathletics.com. These are our guys. They support the show. George, great guy, great creator, awesome colors, awesome styles, and also the best fit. It feels great. And that's the thing. It's not just that it looks good, it feels good. And the thing that for me, I love the most is I can wear the stuff at jiu-jitsu, but then also they've got that other side, the cool side where you can wear it off the mats. And they are our exclusive partner in apparel. If you want to get bulletproof gear, you've got to go to pariathletics.com. And when you buy anything at checkout, enter bulletproof20 for 20% off. Oh, yeah. But here's the thing, my friends. If you look at this, this is how Craig Jones sets himself up to be a millionaire for the rest of time, right? Now, all the fighters who didn't like him, whether it's Philippe Pena or, you know, any of those
Didn't
Atos
Hulk
guys,
Barbosa post about it? He's like, damn, if this is legit, like I'm down to make 10 Gs.
who isn't, right?
Yeah, it's exciting.
Because now they're all sucking Craig's dick, which is what he wants. It's the power, it's the money. He doesn't give a fuck about jiu-jitsu. He's just leveraging it to the next thing. How has he done this? Now, what we've noticed recently is
Maybe he wants to sponsor our show.
No, not at all. I'm not taking any Craig Jones money, and he'll never get any money from me. So here's the deal. But hey, we can benefit from speculating across all of this.
Naturally,
right? Yeah. Combat karate. What an interesting concept. Because recently there's some videos done saying, is the pit the ultimate grappling format? You've got these 45, for those of you not familiar with the combat karate, they've got these padded 45-degree walls.
It's like matted area and then these walls that are at 45.
The pit.
So you can walk up them,
yeah,
but you can't like stand on them.
No.
Yeah.
And so it is easier than a cage to be able to like launch someone off it or you leap off it, right? And Craig more recently had done kind of like a flying triangle off it.
Yeah.
People are like, yo, this is actually great for grappling because you can't roll out of bounds like if you're on the ground, which is what some jiu-jitsu folks do to avoid submissions. And you can also use it to make it more interesting, right?
Yeah.
And you can't just take someone down off a stage, right? And then you got to reset in a different way. Like you're there.
It's actually a good design for grappling.
It's incredibly good design. There's been a 1 or 2 video breakdowns about this. And I was like, how interesting. Now, who's got the money and the organizational wits to run a 16-man tournament? Combat Karate does.
Yeah, if you've not seen Combat Karate, I remember it first popped up as a YouTube ad. Oh. I'd be watching like, I don't know, UFC Countdown or some shit on YouTube, and this ad would pop up, and it would be this live broadcast. It was a 2.5-hour ad. It was this is early days YouTube advertising. Wow. A 2.5-hour ad. You can skip it after 10 seconds or whatever. But I'm like, the fuck is this? They got Baz Rutten in there. They got GSP commentating, and then they're bringing out these karate fighters, and they're having a full contact fight. And I'm like, this is pretty sick. Like karate,
getting KO.
Full contact karate is no joke. So it's become this, now it's this thing. And so you can watch it on YouTube. If you've not checked it out, go have a look. But it's a pretty cool event. And they're obviously they've obviously got plenty of funding and they're finding innovative ways to get in front of their audience.
Yeah.
Right. And so bringing Craig into the fold and going, hey, we're going to have a one-off grappling match tonight.
Yeah.
It's, who's leveraging who?
Yeah, but they've started featuring grappling. And you mentioned this last time we talked about it, that similar to ONE FC, they've started bringing grappling in as a bigger part because there is a market for it. There's an audience for it.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit speculative, but I don't think Craig has the time, the energy, or the interest to do all the manpower behind running an event. Combat Karate could do that. And what he's saying, the reason why he has money, and he's done a few screenshots of the fact I've got $3 million, this isn't bullshit, I can do this. He's saying he's not spending as much on media and advertising so he can give it to the fighters, the contestants, athletes. So this is
he would be the Dana, he would be the front man, he'd be putting it together, promoting it,
all
and
of
then
that.
other people
would be running
the event
referees.
happen.
Yeah, you wouldn't catch Craig out there, refereeing.
I mean, if it happened like the weekend after ADCC, that'd be pretty sick.
It would be pretty wild. We're gonna be in Vegas at that time. Now he did put up.
I'll take 10 G's to fight Hulk. It. I'll make sick YouTube content.
Thomas, I need a bit
Send
more of a
your
training camp.
predictions.
I will. well, yeah, no. I know. I won't.
Easy here. You're pulling on something.
Oh,
you're getting tense under the table there.
Pulling your leg. No, so here's the thing. He did post about Thomas Mack Center. Now, that's not a cheap venue, but
Thomas and Mack.
That
was where we were last ADCC, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was. University of Las Vegas, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you look at that, it looked like he had shelled out $700,000 because originally he had almost $3 million in an account. And then the money he posted was, I've got $2,300,000 to allocate to athletes competing. So where'd the rest of that money go? Because originally it was almost $3 million. Now, where he got this money, I don't know. Like, it might have been transferred to him. I actually believe Craig is a legit millionaire.
I think he won it at a ping pong competition in Bangkok.
Yeah. He was there with the paddle and there was a lady with the bop, bop, bop. Quite possible. But here's the thing, it's interesting. I see Craig being more and more of a politician, right? Yeah. Here's me giving McDonald's to homeless children in Thailand.
Yeah.
But less of him running the streets with the baggies and the ladyboys, right? So he clearly, I think there's a point at which you see more and more of him doing the positive PR stuff. There's the sensational, here's my ass and here's me saying something crazy, or, here's something controversial to get your attention. But then, here's something redeemable. He must be a good guy. All psychopaths are charming, right? Like there's an element to it that gets you to buy in. Those dazzling green eyes, you look into them, you think, he's not such a bad guy. He didn't just screw over every person who meant anything to him in his past. Nah, he's a legend. He's moving forward. He's moving the game forward. And frankly, ladies and gentlemen, he is. He is moving the game forward. If Craig Jones can get a jiu-jitsu athlete $1 million, that gives jiu-jitsu a future. That's crazy. That's legitimate. No one is doing that. Now, obviously, it may ensure his own fame, his own earnings, But that could be your kid. If you're listening to this and you're like, I wouldn't want to put my kid into jiu-jitsu, they'll just turn into a broke mat rat. There's a chance to make $1 million. That's legitimacy.
Yeah, if you get them on the juice and the nose beers early,
the Craig Jones
they could be a millionaire.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're legalizing cocaine. And so if you go to Evertitan and just use discount code BDCC, you can get 10% off. No, it's super interesting. And that's why I wanted to talk about it, because this is possibly the most significant shift. Like, let's go sideways for a second. Let's go to the gi. When the Abu Dhabi Pro came out, and this is like, 14, 15 years ago, they were paying athletes to win. You could make like
$1,000 or something?
Yeah, $1,000 or $2,000 if you won at purple belt or brown belt. Jiu-jitsu athletes are going mental.
And then you'd win a trip to...
you get to go to Abu Dhabi and stay in a mad hotel. And that was like revolutionary.
Well, all you had prior to that was just you're on some basketball court fighting for a shit medal.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, hey, we'll give you $1,000 and you get a fly to the other side of the world and meet
really
your heroes.
Good photos. And but pretty impressive, right? And so at each stage in the game, it's kind of improved. And here is the shocking thing, which most people probably don't appreciate. Only if you are an IBJJF, like black belt world champion, will they comp you your entry fee.
Oh, right. Everyone pays.
Not everyone pays.
Yeah, right.
Right? Carlos Gracie Jr., he's getting that money. Even if you came third, you're Victor Estima, you got a bronze medal, you're going to pay me, buddy.
Yeah.
That's crazy, right? So this, I believe, now, I don't know if he can pull it off. Here's the thing. I kind of, not that I want to destroy, I don't want to see the ADCC fall down. I know so many people work so long and so hard to try and...
Yeah, it's a sick event.
It's amazing, right? We're going to be there. We're excited for it. I don't want it to fuck up. But how interesting would it be? And this is what I believe Craig Jones needs to do. He needs to get 4 big names across. He needs 2 over 80 kilo guys to come across, and he needs 2 significant under 80 kilo guys to come across. So, for example, if he could get a Rotolo, if he could get Fabrizio Andre, if he could get Merengali, if he could get some other big rig, what's his name who just beat Kynan?
Luke Griffith.
If he could get Luke Griffith, which I think he can.
Well done, by the way.
Yeah, shout out. But imagine he could get Nicky Ryan. Craig can get his whole team there. I'm not sure about Nicky Ryan because Nicky Ryan's already said, I really want to win the ADCC, bro. Come on, don't put this pressure on me. That fucks up the ADCC's roster. It really does, because it also is a vote of no confidence from the athletes to go make the money.
I mentioned at the start that I was under the impression that he'd tried to put it on the same day, but actually I don't think that would make sense, right? Because surely it's like
you couldn't get the spectators.
No, that's right. So, and it would make sense if you did it the weekend after or something, that almost all of the athletes would probably back it up and go, yeah, I'll jump in 7 days later. And a lot of the fans would be like, I'll stick around in Vegas for a second.
Another week.
Yeah, like we'd find a way to do that, right?
For sure.
Craig, just letting you know, like we'd love to be there. And so in that way, I think that there's no reason why it couldn't just get everyone. Like do you know what I mean?
Or could he go the weekend before and then people
get them when they're
not
fresh?
Yeah, not injured and whatever. But that's the thing. He even made the post saying, look, hey,
but I think
you've never had to be on a contract before. Now, if Mo's hitting you with a contract, I would be wary.
Yeah, don't sign the contract. I mean, I don't think, like we were saying earlier, he doesn't have the pull yet to go like, hey, do my event first. No. I think it's like, no, ADCC is still the thing.
Yep.
But if he could get them after, and then maybe, like now he's got a foot in the door.
Yeah.
And then next year, hey guys, prize money's gone up. How about you do my event first? Like, then he's got a bit of leverage.
Yeah, I think it is difficult the first time you do anything, right?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't expect Craig to be successful. It's a lot of money on the line for just a first off, right? But he is coming for the crown. He is saying, I am the new king of jiu-jitsu organization comp. I'll pay you. And what athlete could resist that? Tell me, Joey, You come out of retirement for the 10K.
I think I'd put the gloves back on, jump back in the ring.
Give me that mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Let's bang.
And I don't know, just inject something into this knee. Giddy up.
All of it. What can follistatin do for me? Gene editing. Just let's go. So it's exciting, my friends. Obviously, updates as we go, but it needs to be talked about because this is an inflection point in jiu-jitsu history. Let's see how it plays.
Boom, boom. Hey, guys, make sure you like the show, give us a 5-star review. All that helps us support the thing and get this in front of more people just like you.